So, what are some characters I would love to see in a Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled 2 in a sequel on Nitro Fueled? Hey everyone, Jasper here from Like and we're back to a new Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled video, and today I want to make a list of characters I would love to see, or that would be cool to see, even if they're guest characters too, in a Nitro Fueled sequel, which, hey, it's bound to happen one day. The success of the first Nitro Fueled, of the rate of Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled back in 2019, it was a success that we can say, especially with the Grand Prix, and I could just see it being really worth of having a sequel. So, and there's lots of potential for a sequel on Nitro Fueled, or for Nitro Fueled, like a new story mode, a new story in general, new tracks, and again, and bringing the 56 characters 50-something characters from the first one as the characters, introducing even more characters. So, just as a joke, which the first one, people would probably say, if Canadian Guy A, which, to be fair, there is a mod on Crash 4 where you can actually play as Canadian Guy A. Yeah, Crash actually has a skin of Canadian Guy A, which is really cool. And a person like me that watches Canadian Guy A, that'd be very funny. But again, just a joke aside, for real. And the next one would be Steve from Minecraft. And you're probably wondering, like, wait. Minecraft is Microsoft. Well, you gotta remember, Microsoft now owns Activision, Crash Bandicoot, Spyro. Activision, or Microsoft that owns Minecraft, now owns Crash and Spyro, especially with the acquisition, and that will be complete next year, pretty much. So, Stave is a possibility now, just like how a Minecraft Mass-Up Pack, or a Crash Bandicoot and Spyro Mass-Up Pack in Minecraft can now be possible. And Stave has a funny guest character, and hey, we saw him in Smash Brothers too, so it would be funny to see him as a character now, since Microsoft now owns Crash and Spyro. Anything's possible. Next, Banjo and Kazooie. Yes, Banjo and Kazooie as another guest characters. Now, these three were guest characters, I know. I have a lot of guest characters. And again, most of these are definitely not likely, but just a fun list I just throw together as well. But yeah, Banjo and Kazooie. That would be really cool, especially how we had Spyro as a guest character in the first Nitro Fueled. It would be cool to have Banjo and Kazooie. Next, Ratchet and Clank. Yes, Ratchet and Clank. I'm gonna add them. Yes, they're PlayStation mascots. But maybe they can have some, like Sir Dan and Ratchet and Clank, they can have as guest characters. PlayStation guest characters, let's say. And like I went back with Banjo-Kazooie, they could be real cool guest character. Okay, now let's get serious. Now let's get to the actual stuff. First off is Willy Wumpa Cheeks. Now, if you do not know, Willy Wumpa Cheeks was going to be in the first Nitro Fueled, but he was scrapped. Most likely due to the pandemic. Because, if you did not know, after the Baynox update, the last update of Nitro Fueled, back in March of 2020, yeah, you know, the devil year, I made a video a while back predicting that most likely we were going to get a second post-Grand Prix update that had Willy Wumpa Cheeks, Ripto, and the Sorceress that were in the game's files. That are actually in the game's files of Nitro Fueled, but never used. Most likely cut due to the pandemic. But yeah, Willy Wumpa Cheeks, definitely Willy Wumpa Cheeks. I really want Willy Wumpa Cheeks. I really wanted him in the first Nitro Fueled. So please bring him, please bring him into a sequel, please. Next is the Tribesmen. And you know what's funny about the tribesmen? We got the lab assistants as playable characters in Nitrofield, but not the tribesmen. We got Cortex's minions, but not the tribesmen. Bring the tribesmen as playable characters. Heck, bring the hog. Bring the hog as well. That'll complete the, well, besides that alien creature in Crash Landed in Crash 4, bring that as well to complete the cast of writable characters as playable characters. Next is Viscount. Yes, the Viscount from the infamous Crash Boom Bang. I definitely wanted to see him in Crash and Team Racing Nitro Fueled as well, and I think he would be a great addition. Definitely bring Viscount. And you know what? Most of these characters could be in Grand Prix, right? Like Nitrofield, a sequel of Nitrofield can also have Grand Prix, just like the first one. And most of these characters could be added in Grand Prix. I could just say. Next, the Evil Twins. Yes, the Evil Twins. Bring the Evil Twins. Most likely in a separate cart. You know, as separate playable characters. Just like how we have Chicken Stew as separate playable characters. I think it would make sense to have them as separate characters. But please bring Victor and Maurice. Next is Female and Trophy. Now, yeah, Nitrofield came out and had its last update before Crash 4 It's About Time came out. So, Female and Trophy didn't exist back then. But now that Crash 4 is out and we have Female and Trophy, why not bring her into a sequel, right? Maybe if not beating the time trials, again, like with Trophy, except you'd still unlock Trophy, but maybe do something else. Maybe having to collect, you know how like with the golden wampas and eggs and golden eggs and Beanox crates, maybe have to break time, like that have stopwatch or the time things on them, the crates that have a clock on them. No, not time trial crates, but actual crates that have a clock on them. And you have to break them on every track in order to get Female and Trophy. But yeah, bring her in. Because she's a very, very interesting character and definitely needs to be seen more. Next is Ripto. Going back to that subject with Welly Wampa Cheeks. Greg Berger, the voice of Ripto. He's in the credits of Nitrofield. If you do not know. In the credits of Nitrofield, you can see Greg Berger. That also did Ripto. Pre-prizes row as Ripto. And always been doing Ripto. So, and again, Ripto was in the original first ever data mine that had those whole bunch of characters that all of them made it in except Ripto, Willy Wonka, and the Sorceress. So bring Ripto in. And speaking of the Sorceress, again, bring her in. Bring those three characters that were originally going to be in the first Nitrofield. Bring them in. Please. Next is Mr. Crum. And you're probably wondering, well, he doesn't have feet. Are you kidding me? We have a crate as a character. We have a freaking crate as a character. We have a chicken as a character, and he doesn't even have, or he doesn't even do the pedals. The crate doesn't even have feet either. So, Mr. Crum wouldn't be no obsession either. But, yeah, bring Mr. Crum. Bring Mr. Crum into this. And you know what? Most of these villains that I'm talking about, it could be a good possibility if some of these are actually bosses in the new story mode, right? Because I could see a sequel to Nitrofield having a new adventure mode with no bosses, right? With no boss fights. And some of these bosses could actually be the bosses that you face and you unlock after beating them. So just a good heads up. Next is the Noid. Yeah, ever since the Noid in Crash on the Run, again, the weirdest crossover. And it's almost been a year since he came to Crash on the Run. He made his guest appearance. But yeah, the Noid would be funny. Having to collect pizza or find pizza in 8 of the tracks to unlock the Noid. Oh, that's the wrong thing. What y'all just saw wasn't for this video. It's for a separate video discussing. So hopefully y'all enjoyed this, and let me know what characters do y'all think that should be in a Nitro Field 2. Let me know in the comments section down below. Thank you guys for watching. See you next video. Bye!